this video we will be discussing about the Uniform Civil Code. So why are we discussing about it now? It is because Gujarat has joined the list of states which have been demanding for the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code. So before starting discussing about Uniform Civil Code, let us see this statement by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so he felt that, or he stated that, though it is desirable to implement the Uniform Civil Code at that point of time initially, it should be kept as a voluntary provision. Okay, so this was the perspective of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So what is the current status with respect to governing laws in India? So we have a certain set of common laws with respect to civil and criminal affairs. But when it comes to personal laws, there is no common law for this. So that is why many states are demanding for implementing the Uniform Civil Code. Okay. Article 44. So Part 4 of the Constitution contains the DPSPs, the directive principles of the state policy. You also have fundamental rights. All of you would know the difference between these two. The main difference is this is enforceable by the courts and DPSPs are not enforceable. So this is the fundamental difference between the directive principles and the fundamental rights. Okay. So the Article 44 says that the state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. So before this, let us see what is Article 37. Article 37 of the directive principles of the Constitution, it says that even though the directive principles are not enforceable by the courts, it shall be the duty of the state to implement these principles which are there in the Part 4 of the Constitutions while making laws for the country. Okay, so Article 37 clearly states that the principles which are enshrined in this Part 4, that is the DPSP, the directive principles, should be implemented while making the laws. So that will be the duty of the state. Okay, so that is why the word endeavor is used. So the state shall endeavor in bringing in a uniform civil code. Okay, so we talked about the civil laws, criminal laws, and the personal laws are marriage, divorce, adoption and inheritance. So these are the subjects which comes under the personal laws. Okay, so now let us move further and see the historically what has happened before. There were wide debates in the Constitution whether they should be included as a fundamental right or under the DPSP. Okay, so you all know the subcommittee of fundamental rights, which was headed by Sardar Patel, through voting decided that this provision will be a part of DPSP and not a part of fundamental right. Okay, so this is what happened in the Constituent Assembly. So what are the challenges? At that point of time, the makers of our Constitution, some people, they felt that the implementation of the UCC would be a challenge for the Article 25, that is the right to freedom of religion. They felt that UCC would come in way in implementing the fundamental right, that is the Article 25, which talks about the freedom of religion. But some eminent personalities such as K. Munshi rejected this notion that UCC would come in way for the freedom of religion. He held that the Constitution allowed the government to make laws covering secular activities related to religious practices if they were intended for social reforms. Right? So that is what K. M. Munshi has stated in the Constituent Assembly. So let us move further and see what is the Supreme Court's stand. In famous cases such as Shah Bano case, the Supreme Court held that there should be implementation of the Uniform Civil Code. Similar stand was taken in the Sarla Mughal case and also in the Paulo Coutinho versus Maria Loza case. Okay, so this is the stand of Supreme Court in various cases. Now let us see what the Law Commission of India has recently held regarding this. In 2018, it has given out a report, okay, where it mentioned that unified nation did not necessarily need uniformity. It clearly held that uniform civil code is not required. Okay, adding that secularism could not contradict the plurality present in the country, which means the Law Commission has held that there is no necessity for uniform civil code because having uniformity or homogeneity in the country does not make it a unified nation. Every practice, if it is not evil and antisocial, it should be given freedom. Okay, so this diverse culture which is prevalent in the country should be respected. And it has also stated that certain social evils, prejudices which are present in certain religious practices and also in the personal laws of those respective religions must be amended. Okay, so that is what the Law Commission has done. Okay, so this is with respect to the Uniform Civil Code. I hope this video will be helpful to you. Thank you.